Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a woman and wondered if something was left unsaid? Most men experience this constantly, moving through their daily lives completely blind to the signals women are sending their way. They operate under the assumption that attraction is obvious, that if a woman wants them, she'll simply say it directly. But that's not how female communication actually works, and understanding this distinction could fundamentally change how you navigate every interaction you have from this point forward. Women don't announce their interest outright. They hint, they create openings, they drop signals strategically, and then wait to see if you're aware enough to pick them up. And here's what happens when you miss those signals. She assumes you're either oblivious, too scared to act, or simply not interested. Once she feels that rejection, even if you didn't mean to reject her at all, she's already mentally moving on. The window closes faster than you realize, and you may never even know that an opportunity existed in the first place. The reality of the situation is that female communication operates on multiple layers simultaneously. There's the surface layer, which is what's literally being said in the words themselves, and then there's the deeper layer, which is what's actually meant underneath those words. Most men only process the first layer, which is why they constantly misread situations and find themselves wondering why nothing ever happens. They think they're missing some obvious sign, when really they're just not tuned in to the frequency women are broadcasting on. Here's the important thing to understand. Women aren't being deceptive when they communicate this way. They're not trying to trick men or play games. They're simply communicating the way they're wired to communicate, indirectly, subtly, through implication rather than declaration. This is how female communication has evolved, and once you understand the system, you stop missing opportunities and start recognizing them the moment they appear. You develop a new awareness that transforms the way you read every interaction. Let me break down 11 phrases that women use when they're interested but won't say it outright. These are statements that seem casual on the surface, almost throwaway comments, but they carry a completely different meaning underneath. Most men hear these phrases every single day and have absolutely no idea what's actually being communicated to them. By the end of this exploration, you won't be one of them anymore. You'll understand what's really happening in these moments. The first phrase is, "You smell really good." Scent is one of the most primal subconscious triggers for attraction that exists. When a woman comments on how you smell, she's not making casual small talk about your cologne or deodorant. She's associating you with something deeply personal, something that triggers an emotional and physical response in her. Think about the difference between various types of compliments. A comment like nice watch or cool jacket is surface level. It's about external objects that you chose and wear. But when she notices your scent, it means she's already paying attention to you on a sensory level that goes way beyond the visual. She's registered something about you in a way that most people don't. Here's what most men completely miss in this moment. Women don't intentionally draw attention to a man's scent unless they want to be closer to him. It's an indirect way of saying, "I've already imagined being in your proximity. I've already thought about what it would be like." She's verbalizing something her body is responding to on a subconscious level. When a woman says this, she's creating an opening. She's giving you a signal that physical closeness is on her mind, even if she's not saying it explicitly. She's testing to see if you pick up on this cue. The second phrase is when she calls you trouble. This is pure excitement and attraction speaking distilled into a single word. Women are attracted to men who break up predictability, who bring energy that feels slightly unpredictable, slightly dangerous in the best possible way. It's not about actual danger or toxicity, but rather the sense that being around this man means life is more interesting. If she calls you trouble, she's feeling a complex mix of nervousness, curiosity, and anticipation all at once. She knows you're not the kind of guy who plays it completely safe. She knows that being around you means something interesting is going to happen, something that breaks the monotony of her normal routine. And here's the key insight. That's exactly what she wants. She's not warning you away or pushing you back. She's actually leaning in. The word trouble is code for, "You make me feel something I'm not used to feeling, and I'm intrigued by it." That's what she's really communicating. The third phrase is, "I don't normally do this, but." This phrase is fundamentally a justification, and justifications only happen when someone has already made a decision and is now explaining it to themselves and to you. A woman saying this isn't debating whether to do something in that moment. She's already decided. She's just removing any potential judgment from the equation, telling you and herself that this is an exception, that you're different enough, special enough to warrant stepping outside her usual boundaries and normal patterns. Women don't offer this phrase to just anyone. When they do say it, it's because they want you to understand that whatever is about to happen is significant to them. It carries weight. It's an invitation wrapped in a disclaimer, a way of softening the vulnerability of making an exception for someone. The fourth phrase is, "It's getting late, but I'm not really tired yet." Women rarely say exactly what they're thinking, but they hint heavily at their intentions to the men who are paying attention. When a woman says this, she's giving you an open-ended statement, something that requires you to take action and make a decision. A woman who's actually ready to leave will simply say, "It's late, I should go." She'll state it as a fact and prepare to exit. But when she adds that second part, when she says, "But I'm not really tired yet," or "But I don't feel like leaving," she's making it your decision whether the interaction continues. She's creating an opening. She's telling you she's available for more time, more conversation, more connection, more of whatever you're willing to create in that moment. The ball is in your court, and she's hoping you'll recognize that. The fifth phrase is, "Do you think I'm that innocent?" When a woman says this, she's testing how you perceive her. She's seeing if you view her as one-dimensional, as simple, or if you understand that every woman has layers, complexity, different sides of herself that she doesn't show to everyone. It's playful on the surface with humor and lightness, but underneath it's an indicator of interest. Women don't try to prove their depth, their complexity to men they don't care about. If she's hinting at a side of herself that isn't obvious, if she's suggesting there's more to her than what you've seen, it's because she wants you to see it. She's inviting you into a deeper understanding of who she really is. This is also a subtle challenge. She's checking if you can handle the real version of her, not just the polite, socially acceptable, carefully curated version she presents to the world. She's testing your capacity for genuine connection. The sixth phrase is, "I feel like I can actually be myself around you." Women don't open up to just anyone. They don't lower their guard unless they feel genuine connection and trust. When a woman says this, she's acknowledging that you've reached a level with her that most men don't ever achieve. She's giving you insight into her real personality, her authentic self, not the performance she puts on for the world. She's created a safe space where she can be vulnerable. And here's what men don't realize about this statement. A woman can feel attraction without trust. But when trust and attraction combine together, when they merge, it creates an entirely different level of connection. That's when she starts seeing you as more than just another option. That's when you become someone significant in her mind, someone who matters beyond the moment. The seventh phrase is, "So what now?" This phrase might seem innocent, almost like she's just asking a casual question about what you're doing next, but it's actually loaded with meaning. When a woman asks, "What now?" she's acknowledging that there's something unresolved between you, something in the air that hasn't been addressed yet. She's hinting that the next step is supposed to happen, and she's waiting for you to recognize it and take action. The key to understanding this is knowing that women rarely ask for things directly. Instead, they position it as an open-ended question that leaves the decision entirely up to you. She's creating space for something to happen. She's giving you permission to escalate, to make a move, to take the interaction somewhere deeper and more meaningful, but she's not going to be the one to say it explicitly. That would be too vulnerable, too direct, too exposing. The eighth phrase is, "You're actually really strong." This isn't just about physical strength or muscle mass. It's about presence. It's about how you carry yourself in the world. When a woman notices strength in a man, it means she started paying attention to him in a physical and psychological way. She's becoming aware of how you move, how you occupy space, how you handle pressure. Women notice these things first on a subconscious level, registering them before they even consciously realize it. When they verbalize it, it means it's moved to conscious awareness. She's thought about you in a way that goes beyond casual observation. She's reflected on your presence. Strength isn't just about muscles or physical power. It's about stability, about control, about confidence, about being grounded. And when a woman acknowledges it, it means she's already considered you in a context that's more intimate than surface-level interaction. The ninth phrase is, "I bet you can get any girl you want." This is a psychological test disguised as a compliment. When a woman says this, she's looking for a reaction. She's analyzing how you see yourself, how you handle social pressure, whether you can stay composed when put on the spot. Attraction isn't just about what a man looks or sounds like. It's about how he holds himself in high-pressure moments, how he responds to tests. When a woman says this, she's giving you a glimpse into how she sees you. And if she sees you as someone who has options, as someone desirable, it means she's already considered herself as one of those options. She's testing to see if you're aware of your own value. How you respond in that moment will either confirm or destroy her perception of you. The 10th phrase is, "You're different from most guys." When a woman says you're different, she's putting you in a separate category from other men. And here's the thing that most men don't understand. Women don't say this to guys they aren't interested in. If you're just another guy to her, if you're indistinguishable from all the others she knows, she won't bother distinguishing you at all. When she tells you this, she's making an internal comparison. She's mentally contrasting you with other men in her past, men she knows, men she's experienced, and she's recognizing something that stands out. She's identified a quality or a combination of qualities that makes you memorable. And when a woman starts separating you from the rest, it means she's seeing you as someone worth pursuing, someone worth thinking about, someone who's captured her attention in a meaningful way. She's invested enough mental energy to analyze what makes you different, and that analysis doesn't happen unless attraction is already present. The 11th and final phrase is, "I never thought I'd tell you this, but this is the signal most men completely miss." When a woman prefaces something with this phrase, she's about to reveal something she's been holding back, something she's thought about repeatedly, but hasn't felt safe enough to say until now. It's vulnerability wrapped in hesitation. She's testing the waters to see if you're someone who can handle deeper honesty, deeper connection, deeper intimacy. This phrase is significant because it shows she's been thinking about you in a context that extends beyond the present moment. She's been processing her feelings, her thoughts, her reactions to you over time, and now she's decided you're worth the risk of opening up. She's decided that the possibility of connection is worth the vulnerability. When a woman says this, you need to pay attention. What comes next is almost certainly something that reveals her true level of interest, even if the actual words seem casual or understated. When you bring all 11 of these signals together, you start to see a pattern. Comments about your scent, calling you trouble, justifying unusual behavior, extending time together, hinting at complexity, expressing comfort and authenticity around you, asking what's next, noticing your strength, testing your self-perception, distinguishing you from other men, and revealing something she's been holding back. Each one is a signal. Each one is an opening. Each one is something most men hear and completely misread because they're only listening to the surface layer of what's being said. They're not reading between the lines. They're not picking up on the context and the subtext. The fundamental truth is that women speak in implications, not declarations. They create opportunities and then wait to see if you're aware enough to recognize them. They're not going to hand you an obvious signal on a platter and say, "I'm interested in you." Instead, they're going to create situations and drop comments that require you to be paying attention, to be thinking about what's really being communicated. Once you understand this system, you stop missing signals and start seeing them everywhere. You develop a heightened awareness of what's happening in your interactions. Here's what I want you to do. In your next conversation with a woman, listen for these phrases actively. Not just the words, but the meaning underneath. Notice when she's creating openings for you to escalate. Notice when she's testing you to see how you respond. Notice when she's at interest instead of stating it outright. The more you practice reading these signals, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you won't even have to think about it consciously. You'll just know. You'll develop an intuition for female communication that most men never acquire. If you've made it to the end of this, I want you to understand that this knowledge is powerful. It changes how you navigate dating, relationships, and interactions with women. And if this has been valuable to you, I want to ask for your support. I'm working toward hitting 10,000 subscribers, and I need people who are committed to understanding this material and leveling up their awareness. If you found value in this breakdown, subscribe to the channel. Every week, I'm breaking down communication patterns and psychology that most men never learn, giving you real understanding instead of guesswork. Give you the tools to read situations accurately instead of constantly wondering what's going on. The 11th phrase deserves particular attention because it separates casual interest from genuine vulnerability. When a woman prefaces something with, "I never thought I'd tell you this," she's showing you that you've become someone special to her, someone she's willing to be truly honest with. Most men miss it entirely because they're not listening for what's underneath the words. They're too busy processing the surface-level conversation to catch the deeper significance. So, go apply this knowledge. Start noticing these phrases in your conversations. Pay attention to what's really being communicated. Build your awareness of female communication patterns and support the channel by subscribing if you haven't already. Help us reach 10,000 subscribers. We're building a community of men who are committed to genuine understanding and authentic connection. That's what this is really about.